same heartbeat. Mom led slow, Dad joked behind, and we all moved like shared design. Leaves above and laughs below, woolen hats and cheeks aglow. No map to check, no place to rush, just autumn air and forest hush. The path we all took wasn't in a guidebook, but written in our steps and songs and stories shared in sweaters long. No perfect route, no hidden look, just love on the path we all took. My brother raced and tripped and grinned, while Grandma held her breath like wind. The dog kept circling back to me, as if to check our family tree. The sky was gold, the light was kind. We left no trace but peace behind, and every footstep softly said, these days are more than what we've read. The path we all took wasn't in a guidebook, but written in our steps and songs and stories shared in sweaters long. No perfect route, no hidden look, just love on the path we all took. Maybe someday we'll return with older eyes and things we've learned, but this trail, it holds us still through every hill. The path we all took still whispers when I look, not marked in stone or GPS, but in the way we all confessed that home is more than walls or book. It's here on the path we all took. He called our names with half a laugh, a whistle breaking through the path. Wait up, he yelled from down the bend, and we would slow and wait again. His voice was low, but somehow bright, like campfire flames against the night. It bounced from oak to trembling pine, and wrapped around this heart of mine. Dad's voice echoed through the trees, like wind that knows just when to tease. It rose with leaves, it danced with sound, and kept our little world spellbound. No need for guideposts or degrees, we followed the voice among the trees. and hum the parts where words were not, then tell a joke that made us groan, but secretly we'd claim as own. I'd trail behind just to delay the echo that would fade away. But every turn, without a doubt, his voice would gently call me out. Dad's voice echoed through the trees like wind that knows just when to tease. It rose with leaves, it danced with sound, and kept our little world spellbound. No need for guideposts or degrees, we followed the voice among the trees. I still hear it soft and near when autumn makes the branches clear. Not yelling now, but calm and free, a voice that made a path for me. Dad's voice echoed through the trees. It calmed the world and matched the breeze. He never led with force or tone, just made us feel that we'd come home. And tiny boots stomp through the red, crushing leaves that once had fled. Laughter trails behind the sound of little feet that leaped and bound. Every step's a crunch of gold, the smallest shoes, the bravest bold. A toddler's voice like bells in wind, as autumn wraps around her grin. Little steps, big leaps, a world that gently weaves. Her giggles wake the forest floor with every rustle, wanting more. The path ahead no longer grieves, with joy in little steps and leaves. She points to trees with chubby hands, like royalty of golden lands. Each acorn is a precious find, each rock a gift she's left behind. The way she shouts at falling skies makes magic out of just goodbyes. And I behind with camera wide, just try to match her wonder stride. Little steps, big leaps, a world that gently weaves. Her giggles wake the forest floor with every rustle, wanting more. The path ahead no longer grieves, with joy in little steps and leaves. We used to walk to reach the end, but now we pause at every bend. She's made the woods a game of grace, with every leaf a hiding place. She didn't ask, just slid it in as one crept softly on her skin. Too small for gloves, too shy to say. Her fingers found a warmer way. And I pretended not to see, but held my hand more carefully, afraid she'd move or pull away, but glad she chose to gently stay. Her hand in my pocket felt like a whispered sonnet. No grand hello, no bold embrace, just silence made of cotton space. I never thought a trail could lock it, but love came through that pocket. The trees leaned in, the leaves stood still. The slope grew sharp across the hill. But all I felt was fingers tight, grasping warmth against the bite. She hummed a song without a name, and I just matched her breath and frame. The forest made no jealous sound, it simply let the peace resound. Her hand in my pocket felt like a whispered sonnet. No grand hello, no bold embrace, just silence made of cotton space. I never thought a trail could lock it, but love came through that pocket. Now coats get older, gloves get worn, but that one moment feels newborn. Whenever cold comes knocking near, I feel her hand still tucked right here. I'll hand in my pocket still warms like old locket, a memory stitched into the seams that moves in hush to my dreams. I never asked, I didn't dock it. She found me in that pocket. Grandma packed them in a bag, soft and sweet, no need to brag. Sticky fingers, orange gold, passed around before the cold. We sat on logs, our legs all crossed, counting bites and who got lost. Mom said, "Chew, don't make a mess," but laughter made us all confess, laughing over dried persimmons with mouths too full for rhythms. lunch was crooked, old and gray, but perfect for a lunch halfway. We passed around the apple tin and wiped our hands against our skin. The juice ran down my little sleeve. You laughed and Grandma didn't leave, just nodded slow and handed more, like every bite meant something more. The bench we ate apples on still holds the warmth, though we've gone. The crunch of fruit, the chatter light, the autumn sun, the soft delight. No tablecloth, no fancy song, just love where apples belong. Dad peeled the skins in one long stripe, like magic tricks that still feel right. And Sister said they tasted red, as if the trees had softly bled. The woods leaned close to watch us eat and listened as we swung our feet. I think they knew this kind of grace deserved to stay in time and place. The bench we ate apples on still holds the warmth, though we've gone. The crunch of fruit, the chatter light, the autumn sun, the soft delight. No tablecloth, no fancy song, just love where apples belong. I passed it once the other day. The woods more worn, the sky more gray. But when I stopped to breathe and stare, I swore our voices lingered there. The bench we ate apples on is where those moments shone. A simple bite, a shared refrain that even time can't quite explain. I trade a feast, a plated prawn for that bench we ate apples on. Mom pulled out her old red phone, said, line up before we head down home. We groaned and fussed, but took our spots between the trees and tangled thoughts. The sky was burning pink and gold, the kind that begged to just be told. And as we stood with half a grin, she caught the world we all were in. One more picture before the sun sets, a frame where no one ever forgets. Our cheeks were red, our boots were worn, but love had taken perfect form. We never posed with grand regrets, just before the sun sets. Dad held up peace signs, being weird, and I fake laughed with apple smear. My brother blinked, of course he did, but we all smiled like happy kids. It wasn't flawless, not a pose, but full of things a camera knows. The kind of shot that doesn't fade when distance makes the edges fray. One more picture before the sun sets, a frame where no one ever forgets. Our cheeks were red, our boots were worn, but love had taken perfect form. We never posed with grand regrets, just joy before the sun sets. Now it sits above the fire, the kind of warmth we still admire. And every time the daylight dips, I hear her say with smiling lips, ooh, one more picture before the sun sets. And somehow no one ever forgets. The trail was steep, the laps were thin, but still we held each other in. Click once, then time resets. One more before the sun sets. We raced the trail with hungry feet, past golden trees and pine cone sleet. But every time we'd look behind, she waved with love not rushed in mind. She never said, don't go too far, just follow slow, like who we are. And though we thought we'd led the way, it's her who taught the hike that day. Mom waited even when we ran ahead. She walked with care and grace instead. She knew we'd turn, we'd call her name, and she'd be there just like she came. Not rushing, not full of dread, just waiting as we ran ahead. She tied her scarf, adjusted boots, picked berries with a smile so mute. She didn't chase, she let us roam, but every step still led us home. Her silence wasn't being still, it sang with patience just waiting as we ran ahead. Now I walk with little feet who run with joy and skip with heat, and I had learned to learn to wait like her, to let them lead but still assure. Mom waited even when we ran ahead. Now I know what patience is. The love can follow still and white and hold the world in quiet stride. The strongest path is softly led by hearts that walk instead. We huddled up before the rise, where mist escaped like lullabies. Our breath was fog like soft white ghosts, floating close to where we toast. The youngest blew a dragon roar while Grandma laughed and asked for more. We watched our words turn into steam, as if the air could hold a dream. Our breath in the cold air, dancing like it had no care. Each puff a memory, each sigh a song, each warmth a sign we all belong. No fire yet, but love was there, alive in the cold air. My sister drew a heart mid-sky, then giggled as it floated high. We made up shapes with every bloom that vanished like forgotten rooms. And though the wind began to bite, our faces glowed in morning light. No jackets thick could match the way our laughter kept the chill at bay. Our breath in the cold air, dancing like it had no care. Each puff a memory, each sigh a song, each warmth a sign we all belong. No fire yet, but love was there, alive in the cold air. I sometimes miss those foggy mouths that spoke of joy from north to south. Now when I see the first frost break, I feel that trail begin to wait. Our breath in the cold air still lingers everywhere, not just in pictures, not in fire, but in the hush that won't expire. We didn't need a single prayer, just hearts didn't notice till too late the little burrs that clung like fate. Our socks a field of sticky green from every bush we danced between. Mom sighed and pulled them one by one as we just laughed. That hike was fun. Our legs were scratched, our shoes were worn, but joy like that is never torn. Socks full of burrs, but hearts full of spurs. We walked through wild without regret and wore the proof we won't forget. No medals here, no shiny slurs, just memories and socks full of burrs. My brother dared to take a dive in ferns that made him feel alive. We chased each other, yelling loud, till burrs became our nature's shroud. Dad knelt and picked them off my heel and said, "That's how the forest feels." I didn't cry, I didn't flinch. The trail had grabbed us inch by inch. Socks full of burrs, but hearts full of spurs. We walked through wild without regret and wore the proof we won't forget. No medals here, no shiny slurs, just memories and socks full of burrs. Now every fall I walk again and find a seed stuck in the hem, and smile to think of trails we stirred and how we bloomed from every bird. Socks full of burrs and joy that still occurs in every bramble we once passed, and scratches that have somehow last. No polished tales, no neat textures, just truth in socks full of burrs. He walked with grace but took his time. Each step a story told in rhyme. His cane tapped gently on the ground, a rhythm calm, a steady sound. I asked to hold it just for fun. He smiled and said, "Well, here's how it's done." And in my grip it felt like wood, but somehow more than just it should. Holding grandfather's cane, I felt the years like rain. The hikes he led, the peaks he knew, the quiet strength that always grew. It wasn't heavy, but it held a life so deeply spelled. We stopped beside a rocky ledge. He leaned and pointed at the edge. This view, he said, is always true. And then he gently gave me room. kept his balance when days were thick. And when he passed it into mine, it carried roots beneath the pine. Holding grandfather's cane, I felt the years like rain. The hikes he led, the peaks he knew, the quiet strength that always grew. It wasn't heavy, but it held a life so deeply spelled. Now when I climb and see the trees, I hear his breath upon the breeze. And sometimes when my footing slips, I feel the shape still in my grip. Holding grandfather's cane still brings me back again. The trails he walked with silent pride, and how he stood there by our side. His love remains ingrained, alive in that old cane. Dust on laces, mud on soul, marks the miles that made us whole. We didn't walk in perfect rows, but still we knew just where to go. From tiny boots to grown-up feet, each pair of shoes had felt the beat of leaves and roots and hidden turns, and all the ways that love still learns. The trail of our shoes tells more than morning news. They carry laughter, slips and jumps, the puddle splashes, hillside bumps. No need to ask or ever choose, it's written in the trail of our shoes. We stopped to tie, we stopped to snack, we left small patterns on the track. And though the wind would blow them past, the print of joy would always last. Mom's boots had creases, brothers flew, while grandma's moved like steady glue. I walked behind and simply knew that every path was shaped by you. The trail of our shoes tells more than morning news. They carry laughter, slips and jumps, the puddle splashes, hillside bumps. No need to ask or ever choose, it's written in the trail of our shoes. Years may come and shoes may wear, but footprints speak of how we care. Each step we take, each pause we do, we're building something soft and true. The trail of our shoes still shines in morning dew. Through mud or dust or fading snow, we walked as one and let it show. And if I ever have to lose, I'll find a sat beside the mountain path. No words, just breath and trailing laughs. No need to ask, no need to share. We simply knew that love was there. The wind was soft, the tea was warm. The silence came like second form. We looked around, the world was still, and in that hush our hearts could fill. When nobody spoke but felt full, like skies before they pull. A quiet peace without a sound, yet every feeling all around. We didn't talk, but that was true. We knew without the cue. Grandpa leaned back and closed his eyes. Mom just smiled beneath the skies. My brother traced a fallen pine, and I just breathed and made it mine. Sometimes a break is not a lack. It gives the love we won't take back. And even now I chase that grace of silence in a crowded place. When nobody spoke but felt full, like skies before they pull. A quiet peace without a sound, yet every feeling all around. We didn't talk, but that was true. We knew without the cue. No language holds what we had there. No stories written could compare to that one pause, that breathless spell, where all of us were doing well. When nobody spoke but felt full, I learned what's truly whole. You don't need words to understand, just hearts that sit and take your hand. That bench, that trail, that fire dull still shines when we. She asked with arms and not a word, and I've been low without a third. Her boots had dragged, her eyes were red, but still she reached her hands instead. I used to lift her every day, now once a year along the way. But when that moment came again, I swore I'd hold her till the end. I carried her just one more time up a hill we used to climb. She leaned her head against my chest and said, "This trail's the very best." I didn't speak, I let it chime, that weight of one more time. She pointed out a squirrel fast years had stayed the same. No one else had seen us there, just trees that bent like they could care. And when she sighed into my ear, I knew it's what I'd always fear. I carried her just one more time up a hill we used to climb. She leaned her head against my chest and said, "This trail's the very best." I didn't speak, I let it chime that way of one more time. She's taller now and walks with pride, but moments come like autumn tide, where she's my child and I'm her ground, and we don't need to make a sound. I carried her just one more time, like verses without rhyme. And though next year she may just run, today she let me be the one to hold her still in hilltop prime and breathe that one more time. One more time. We sat beneath a maple tree with a blanket wrapped round you and me. It smelled of soap and campfire glow, and something only we would know. Grandma packed it in the bag, folded tight with love to drag. We spread it wide on forest floor and made that patch mean so much more. The blanket smelled like home, like stews and pine and loam. We passed around the sweet rice cake and felt the stillness gently shake. It didn't matter where we'd roam, we had that scent of home. Dad leaned back and took a nap. His snore became our clapping trap. My sister brushed the crumbs away and whispered, "I wish we could stay." And wasn't fancy, wasn't clean, but held the weight of what had been, from baby years to grown Steam curled from the metal lid. Passed it around, no words we did. Just one sip, then passed along, like verses shared without a song. Grandpa smiled and wiped the rim. Mom just nodded, eyes still dim. No one said who needed more. The warmth was passed like something core. Shared thermos, shared silence, spoke louder than the pines. No need for speech, no need for proof, just hands that held a quiet truth. We didn't measure kindness, just poured with silent guidance. The tea was strong, a little sweet, a mix of roots and calm retreat. And every hand that held the tin knew where the family warmth begins. Dad took 2 sips, laughed and coughed, and Grandma said, "You still too soft." We all just chuckled in the breeze and passed it back with growing ease. Shared thermos, shared silence, spoke louder than the pines. No need for speech, no need for proof, just hands that held a quiet truth. We didn't measure kindness, just poured with silent guidance. Now when I pack for trips alone, I bring that thermos on my own. And in each sip a voice returns that love needs no concerns. Shared thermos, shared silence, still warms in present tense. Through weathered hands and trails we roamed, we learned to make the woods our home. No speech, no loud reliance, just sips of soft alliance. The hike was done, the sky turned gray, the leaves began to blow away. We packed our bags, we kicked the stones, and started down the path alone. But no one said that was the best. We didn't need a bold express. Our steps were slow, our breath was deep, and silence settled in to keep. Walking down without a word is where the love was heard. No need for chatter, no goodbyes. The trees had watched with steady eyes, and though the trail no more conferred, we knew Mom brushed dirt from brother's knee, while Dad just smiled silently. I caught a glance, I caught a grin. The quiet held what had been in. You didn't say let's come again, but every footstep softly penned a promise made without declare, that we'd return to meet it there. Walking down without a word is where the love was heard. No need for chatter, no goodbyes. The trees that watched with steady eyes, and though the trail no more comfort, we knew without a word. Some endings don't require sound, just tired feet and sacred ground. We let the mountains speak instead, and carry peace in what we tread. Walking down without a word still plays in every bird. Each season brings the hush again, where steps recall what once had been. And though no script was ever stirred, we felt it without a word. She ran through trees like autumn flame, too wild for rules, too soft to tame. Her ponytail had bits of gold that fluttered fast and wouldn't hold. We called her back to fix her hat, but she just laughed and danced past that. And in her curls the forest stayed, like nature chose her for parade. Leaves in her hair, and she didn't care. She wore the woods like morning air. Each step was joy, each smile a breeze. She made a playground of the trees. No polish, no ribbon to spare, just leaves and flying hair. Mom reached to brush the twigs away, but paused and said, she's fine that way. And let the wild remain untouched, for sometimes love is not such. We used to worry over dirt, now every mark just makes her shirt a masterpiece of bark and grin, a canvas made for what's within. Leaves in her hair, and she didn't care. She wore the woods like morning air. Each step was joy, each smile a breeze. She made a playground of the trees. No polish, no ribbon to spare, just leaves and flying hair. Someday she'll braid her locks with pride, but now she roams the forest wide. And every tangle, every snare is part of her and nature's care. Leaves in her hair, There's the edge, the world below, bathed in copper dusk, soft glow. No one cheered, no wow was said. We simply stopped and bowed our head. The valley curled in silent grace. The sun sat low, the sky gave space. We all stood still, a breath held tight, as if we saw our souls in light. The view that made us quiet, no words could quite supply it. Just eyes that shimmered, hearts that swelled, in hush where everything was held. A beauty not to start a riot, but one that made us quiet. Grandpa whispered, "Take it in." My sister blinked, then cracked a grin. But even jokes could not compete with all that sky beneath our feet. It wasn't big, it wasn't bold, but something in it softly told that being there and being still was more than climbing any hill. The view that made us quiet, no words could quite supply it. Just eyes that shimmered, hearts that swelled, and hush where everything was held. A beauty not to start a riot, the one that made us quiet. Now every time the sun dips low, I think of how we didn't show our love in speech, but in the way we let the silence have its say. The view that made us quiet still holds me when I try it. No selfie caught what we all felt, no pose could ever quite be dealt. That hill still calls me like a diet of peace that made us quiet. The bags are packed, the sun is dipped, the trails behind, the air has flipped. We load the car, we sherry on, but part of me still isn't gone. We didn't say let's come next year, but every glance made that clear. It wasn't just a trip we took, but pages placed inside our book. I hope we do this again, in sunshine, leaf or rain. I hope the trees still know our names, and laughter finds us just the same. The trail may change or shift or bend, but I hope we do this again. My brother hums a tune we sing, while Dad checks tires with acclaim. And Grandma hums her hiking prayer, the one she whispers through the air. We don't need plans set in a stone, just hearts that know they're not alone. And as we drive the windows wide, the forest stays right there inside. I hope we do this again, and sunshine leave for rain. I hope the trees still know our names, and laughter finds us just the same. The trail may change or shift or bend, but I hope we do this again. It's not about the climb or pace, but all the love and quiet space. And every turn the road may send, I carry this until the end. I hope we do this again, and feel like kids again, with apple sauce and mountain views, and memories we didn't lose. If nothing else, if just as friends, please let us do this again. I sat by the window that faces east, where morning always breaks the least. But tonight the moonlight found its way and made me think of yesterday. You never liked the colder side, but said this view could quiet pride. And I remember how you'd stand with coffee steam and open hand. The window faced east, where silence doesn't cease. And even now with curtains thin, I feel your breath like whispered wind. I thought the past was long deceased, but here you are, softer ground. But when the moonlight angles low, I swear it's you, the way you show. The window faced east, still offering its feast of echoes, light and woven time, that hold your shadow next to mine. You never stay, you never cease, you're always there in the east. I drew your name on the window steam. Felt foolish, but it wasn't a dream. The letters curled in quiet heat, then faded fast, incomplete. It's been so long, and yet tonight your name came back without a fight. A whisper shaped by breath alone, and still it chilled me to the bone. Your name on the street felt softer than it seemed, like something warm I shouldn't hold, but still I traced it uncontrolled. You disappeared like broken gleam, but I still write your name in the steam. It's that time of night again, when lights turn dim and clocks pretend to slow down just enough to ache, to let all silence gently break. The hour when I think of you, no matter what I meant to do, you walk into my quiet head like you were never really dead. That time of night again, when thoughts remember when you laughed against my shoulder blade, and all the light began to fade. I wish I knew exactly when you became that time of night again. I try to read, I try to rest, but all these minutes feel like tests, and every shadow on the wall looks like the shade I used to call. It never asks to be recalled, but memory isn't always stalled. It comes unasked, it slips like wine, and suddenly you're right on time. That time of night again, when thoughts remember when you laughed against my shoulder blade, and all the light began to fade. I wish I knew exactly when you became that time of night again. The clocks will chime, the world will spin, and you return like breath on skin. And I don't mind, not every time. You are my heart between the lines. That time of night again still steals me now and then. Not every thought is yours alone, but still you visit once I'm home. And I no longer ask for advice. You're there from that time again. I spilled my tea across the bed, then laughed alone, just shook my head. And in that moment, half asleep, I thought of you, your laugh so deep. You always found the small things sweet, like tangled sheets and awkward feet. And somehow in that silly act, you came to mind and didn't lack. I think you would have laughed, not judged, not stepped back. You tilt your head and softly grin, like life had finally let you in. Though time has tried to cut in half I dropped my phone, I lost my place, and saw you in the pillowcase, the one you used to fold just right, still creased like us, still out of sight. It wasn't pain that made you near, but something light, like atmosphere. The way your presence used to play behind the words I didn't say. I think you would have left, not judged, not stepped back. You tilt your head and softly grin, like life had finally let you in. Though time has tried to cut in half, I still believe you would have laughed. Not all our memories are tears. Some shine in smaller, lighter gears. And though we weren't meant to last, you stay in moments past. I think you would have laughed, and now I laugh on your behalf. It's not regret, it's not goodbye, it's just the way you slip nearby. The night was quiet, shadows stabbed, and then you might have laughed. I scrolled right past your favorite song, then scrolled back up. It wasn't long. That melody we used to hum still strikes like something left undone. I almost skipped, but let it play. The notes still knew what not to say. And even now it pulls me in like autumn wind on quiet skin. Still in my old playlist, where pieces still exist. this song. Still in my old playlist, where memory persists. Your track 11, same as then, the one I don't play, but now and then you never fade, you just resist. Still there in my playlist. I cleaned the room you never saw, hung curtains, patched a quiet flaw, put flowers near the window pane, though you had never asked to stay. I pictured how you might have stood right where the evening felt like wood, the way you'd lean against the frame and not quite speak and not quite name. The room you never visited still echoes what I hid. It smells of linen, cedar breath, a softness built from quiet depth. You never came, but still it sits. The room you never visited. The lamp still flickers when it rains, as if it holds forgotten names. And every breeze that sneaks inside reminds me how you never tried. But I still dust the empty chair, as if one day you'll settle there, a place untouched but so complete by all the steps you didn't need. The room you never visited still echoes what I hid. It smells of linen, cedar breath, a softness built from quiet depth. You never came, but still it sits. The room you never visited. Some places bloom from absence wide and still feel full, though nothing's tied. I close the door but leave it unlocked for memories that never knocked. The room you never visited is where I once admitted that some love lives in baby's form and stays untouched but always warm. It holds your shadow soft and slit in silence. You still visit it. There wasn't rain, there wasn't snow, no scent, no song, no candles glow. I simply looked into the night, and suddenly your name took flight. You weren't around, you didn't call, but something flickered reason, just you. As sudden as the dew, no message pulled you to my mind, no image hidden left to find. You came the way that silence grew, no reason, just you. I wasn't feeling lost or low, no need for comfort, even so. Your voice returned in softer tones, like wind that stirs the oldest bones. I whispered high into the dark, not sure why it should leave a mark, but still the air felt closer then, like you had breathed it once again. No reason, just you. As sudden as the dew, no message pulled you to my mind, no image hidden left to find. You came the way that silence grew, no reason, just you. I guess some names just bloom alone inside a heart that isn't stone. You weren't invited, it is true, but welcome even without you. No reason, just you. Still honest, still untrue, and though I'll never understand, you fit like leaves into my hand. Not called, not traced, not overdue, just there when nights feel blue. I walked beneath the evening glow, where city lights begin to slow, and in the flicker, soft and pale, I saw your face behind the veil. The way you looked when words ran dry still lingers in the corner sky, between the lamp and fallen tree. That's where your memory touched me. Between the lamplight flickers, you come like ache and whispers, not full, not clear, deeply near, enough to make the moment steer. You're not in photos gate. And maybe love just changes forms in city lights and quiet norms. Between the lamplight flickers, I walk as time gets thicker. You're not beside me, that I know, but in the glint of amber glow, you speak and memory bickers through soft and fading flickers. I changed my phone, I changed my tone, rewrote the world where I'm alone. But in my contacts, buried deep, your number lies still half asleep. I never call, I never text, but still you rest among the rest. A ghost I scroll, but never reach, a name I keep beyond my speech. The number I never deleted still feels like something needed, not for use but to recall the sound that used to mean it all. No one knows it's not repeated, but I never deleted. Sometimes I stare and tap the screen, like brushing back a quiet scene, but never press that final key. Just let you live in memory. I changed your name to just an M, to hide the weight, pretend again. But even there, I see it glow when autumn makes my fingers slow. The number I never deleted still feels like something needed, not for use but to recall the sound that But when it sparked, your face came through. Though I had not remembered you, it wasn't set for you to come. Yet shadows danced and made me numb, like something old that slipped its frame and whispered back my unused name. The candle wasn't lit for you, but still you wandered through. The flame was small, the scent was faint, but every glow began to paint a piece of you I thought withdrew. But now the light feels true. I held a cup, I watched it burn, and thought of all we didn't learn. You never said you'd leave for good, but silence carved it like you would. And now the wax begins to run, like time that melts without a sun. I didn't call, I didn't try, yet here you are behind my eye. The candle wasn't lit for you, but still you wandered through. The flame was small, the scent was faint, but every glow began to paint a piece of you I thought withdrew. But now the light feels true. Maybe some souls don't need an invite. They walk in when the fire's right. And though I claimed I let you go, you rise with every glow. The candle wasn't lit for you, but somehow you just knew. You come in ways I can't expect, in warmth I never could reject. The match was struck for something new, but it lit a piece of you. If you called me now, I wouldn't ask where you've been or why the mask. I'd let your voice just fill the space and meet you in that distant place. No need to say you miss the years. I'd tuck away the hurt and fears and greet you like we always do, with something warm and halfway true. If you called me now, I wouldn't ask how. I'd smile through breath and let it be. The once said always, like a vow, like rain that never meets the now. I held it close, then let it sleep, but now it stirs in shadows deep. You didn't mean to haunt the night, but words like that don't lose their bite. They echo soft, then land so hard, a whisper branded like a scar. Someone who once said always still moves through quiet hallways, not in the form of flesh and bone, but in the lines I read alone. You left before the ink could erase, but you were my always. I don't believe in binding time, but always felt like more than rhyme. And though you changed and walked your thread, that single word still wakes the bed. I'd rather you had said sometime, well, maybe if we get to climb, but always stays with longer hands. It draws new paths in shifting sands. Someone who once said always still moves through quiet hallways, not in the form of flesh and bone, but in the lines I read alone. You left before the ink could erase, but you were my always. Now when I say the word out loud, it tastes like sky, it feels like cloud. You never earned it, never knew, but still it lingers like it's true. Someone who once said always still visits in small plays, in candles, bed sheets, fallen keys, and in the hush of autumn breeze. I don't believe what distance says, because you were once always. The leaves were gold outside the glass, as traffic slowed to let them pass. You tapped the beat on window pane and smiled without a hint of strain. We didn't speak of where we'd been, just sat in rhythm, skin to skin. You looked ahead, I looked beside, in the back seat of that autumn ride. The back seat of that autumn ride still lives where memories hide. The road was long, the sky was wide, but time never cried, but something stayed in that autumn ride. You hummed a song you couldn't name. It matched the leaves, it matched the flame. And in that moment, dim and brief, we shared a pause without belief. The driver talked, we barely heard, our silence louder than a word. No destination, just the glide of two unsure. In autumn's tide, the backseat of that autumn ride still lives where memories hide. The road was long, the sky was wide, but time was close, and so was pride. We never kissed, we never cried, but something stayed in that autumn ride. Sometimes I wish the car had stalled, or we had spoken, risked it all. But some things bloom in hush and slide, and live forever where they hide. The backseat of that autumn ride still pulls me back inside. You said my name just once or twice, but that was more than good advice. You didn't stay but never lied. You left a warmth in that autumn ride. I found your letter in a box, behind some scarves and broken clocks. The ink had faded at the edge, but still it held your quiet pledge. You said, I'm sorry I was wrong, then added, but I won't belong. And in those lines, both sharp and plain, I felt your breath between the rain. I found your letter again, and let it say what it said then. No answers, just a soft regret, still folded where my heart once said. You didn't sign it with a pen, but still it spoke again. I sat and read it on the floor, like I had never seen before. But every word came back so true, like echoes I had lost from you. I traced the crease with trembling hand, and let the silence make a stand. You never said where you would go, but still that letter seemed to know. I found your letter again, and let it say what it said then. No answers, just a soft regret, still folded where my heart once said. unspoken things we didn't trust. But now I keep it close, not far, like one last voice in paper star. I found your letter again and felt the chill of when you said goodbye without a voice, but still had left me with the choice to keep the pain or let it in. I chose to read again. Tonight, the breeze was strangely light. It brushed my skin like your goodbye. Not cold enough to make me shake, but just enough to make me break. The sky was soft, the street was bare. Still I turned as if you were there. The wind said nothing, but I knew that it had once belonged to you. The air felt like your goodbye, not loud, no reason why. Just slipped into my evening coat and left behind an aching note. No storm, no tears, no shattered cry, just this air that whispered goodbye. The lamp above the porch went dim, like something sensing loss within. And every footstep that I took felt like a line you never shook. You never said the words out loud, but silence made them twice as proud. And now the air repeats them slow, the kind of farewell no one shows. The air felt like your goodbye, not loud, no reason why. Just slipped into my evening coat and left behind an aching note. No storm, no tears, no shattered cry, just this air that whispered goodbye. I hold my breath sometimes at night, as if you'll pass again in flight. But wind is cruel in how it fades, and never asks what love forbade. The air felt like your goodbye, still drifting soft and dry. You didn't slam the door or stay, you just let autumn take the day. No, no, no name, no final time, just the breeze that said goodbye. against the glass and pulled the summer fully past. But though it washed the streets and air, some memories still stayed right there. I watched the drops erase the sky, but couldn't make your voice comply. It echoed sharp between the panes and whispered low like water stains. What the rain didn't wash was your name in the hush. It soaked the steps, it cleared the ground, but couldn't mute your softest sound. The sky was fierce, the wind was harsh, but still you didn't wash. The coat I wore still smelled like pine from when we walked that borderline. And though the mud had claimed my shoes, I couldn't shake your quiet hued hues. The lightning flashed like old regret, the thunder knew what I'd forget, but nothing in that storm could cleanse the space you carved between my ends. What the rain didn't wash was your name in the hush. It soaked the steps, it cleared the ground, but couldn't mute your softest sound. The sky was fierce, the wind was harsh, but still you didn't wash. I thought the rain would bring release, but all it did was beg for peace. And when it stopped, the world felt dry, except the place you left inside. What the rain didn't wash still clings like quiet moss. It drips in thoughts I never claimed, in puddles shaped around your name. The storm has gone, but in its wash you stay. You didn't wash. I passed beneath a streetlight low. Its golden hue began to glow, and in that warmth your face appeared, as clear as when you once stood near. We used to walk this road at 10, the one that led us back again. But now the path just bends in light, without your shadow in my sight. The street light that reminded me lit up your memory. It didn't ask, it didn't try, was dim, but still it pulsed like something grim. Yet in its glow I found your laugh reflected in the wet stone path. You used to joke that yellow light made everything a bit too right, but now it holds what used to be, a golden trace of you in me. The street light that reminded me lit up your memory. It didn't ask, it didn't try, it just became your soft reply. No photo framed, no reverie, just one streetlight's decree. Sometimes we find what time forgot, in smallest things we almost swat. And though I didn't seek your flame, that light still spoke your name. The street light that reminded me still stands beside that tree. And when the autumn chill sets in, it wraps me where your arms have been. No monument, no elegy, just a light that calls to me. I thought of you last night again, just like I did back then. No trigger pulled, no story shown, just came to mind all on your own. I whispered high into the dark, as if my voice could leave a mark, and wondered through the drifting hue if maybe you thought of me too. Maybe you thought of me too, as stars slid into view. Perhaps a breeze pulled back your sleeve and brought me in, though you don't grieve. We're strangers now, but something grew, and maybe you felt it too. The world has changed, the years rolled by, but some names never fully die. They rise when songs begin to fade, or when the night forgets the day. You used to hum without a tune, it echoed through my silent room. And still when autumn slips right through, I think you might have thought it too. Maybe you thought of me too, as stars slid in crossed that line inside the quiet, soft and new, and paused right into me too. Maybe you thought of me too. I'll never know if true, but when the wind turns like a sigh, I smile and let that thought pass by. We're far, but something still feels true. Just maybe you did too. Walk just out of reach along the lake's soft speech. The ripples danced beneath the sky, but you kept staring far and wide. Our steps fell into gentle time, but your silence was not mine. Said some things are better blurred, and let the shadows speak your word. Shadows on the waterline moved like thoughts that weren't quite mine. Reflections bent, then disappeared, just like the things we not intertwined, with shadows on the waterline. You traced your fingers on the rail, then let your breath become exhale. Promises, no plans to make, just twilight soft across the lake. I wanted to ask where you'd go, but feared the answer I might know. So we kept walking like a song that knows it won't be sung too long. Disappeared, just like the things we never cleared. I walked beside, not intertwined, with shadows on the waterline. Sometimes the quiet feels more true than all the words we try. was damp beneath your feet. The lake was still, the air was sweet. You stood where no one else had gone, as if you knew you'd not belong. I watched you lean into the gray, but didn't find the words to say. And so I stayed a step behind, afraid to reach, afraid to find the dark where